ghost stories. Do all sorts of ghostly things. Talk local legends and some ghost hunting. Stories we hope to live to tell, and you have to listen. Who's Ghost Stories? Who's Ghost Stories? We talk Tinker's Hollow to the beast of Delaware Road. Stories we hope to live to tell, and you have to listen. Who's Ghost Stories? Who's Ghost Stories?
Welcome to another exciting episode of Who's Ghost Stories. Today's episode is a special one. It's part 3 of our time at the Judson House. Now, this video is going to have the picture review from the second floor. I had to cut that out of the last video because it was too long. It's going to be in this video. And then also, I am putting in the audio from Heidi at the Judson House telling us about Reader Moore and his story. What's incredible is it turns out that the story she told us is what I was hearing in the closet. I was hearing the 3 spirits, the 2 men and the woman, and it was that playing out and them arguing and talking about it. So since it's so cool and incredible, is what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the audio in, and then after that I'm going to put in highlights from my SD session in the closet. It's just going to be highlights, probably about 5 minutes long, and in the highlights it'll just go through the parts where it talks about what we think is Reader Moore and his story. So really cool, really interesting. So let's go ahead and let's get to everything. All right, so before we continue on and get into the Eagle Hotel in the next video here and everything that happened over there, I wanted to go through and show off the pictures that we took from the upper floor here at the Judson House. The upper floor had a few different rooms. It had the library, the bathroom, the master bedroom, the children's bedroom, and the map room, or the fort room, which has a scale model of the fort that was on the grounds, as well as some other little trinkets and memorabilia. This picture here is this little doorway right off the stairwell, which leads into the kids' room, which leads into the fort room. So there's a little better picture of the door. So it's kind of a small door, and once you get to the top of the stairs, you just got to you cut through, and you're into the kids' room here. This is the kids' room, and I'll show more pictures of these in a little bit. We took these pictures while we were just getting our tour of the area. So we don't have too many at this point, and then we go back downstairs, then we come back up and take more. But as you can see, the kids' room has some kids' clothes back here, little toy, or not toy, little like baby scale here. It's got all these little dolls all over the room and other little toys. That's a picture of the doorway from the kids' room to the fort room. And then this is inside the fort room. It has this map up here. It has these little posters here. This case here, we'll see some better pictures, is what houses the model of the fort. This is just the other side here with some flags. And then over here is this writing desk with some papers and trinkets. This little chair that Megan used for a short Estes method didn't go incredibly well, but that's okay. At the Eagle Hotel, we have a couple Estes methods, and both are outstanding. That's the door back towards the kids' room. That's some goober. But here you can kind of see a little bit of the model inside the glass case here. This is that writing desk with the trinkets. And then here is the model of the fort, which I think is really cool. I love history, especially histories around wars, such as the Revolutionary War and the Civil War and World War II are my favorite ones. So it was really cool being able to actually see this model and kind of see what the fort actually looked like on the grounds. And then here is more of the model here, these cabins. There's my beautiful wife and our photographer Megan getting her picture taken for once. And then there's just kind of to show the size of this display case that houses the model and how big it actually is, because it is really substantial size, really cool, really interesting to see. And that's just the uniform that was up here. There's the other one. And then that's the stairs down the back way, which lead to kind of where the kitchen was at. There's a better picture of the fort model. And what's interesting here, map made by George Washington, this is back in the kids' room here, but we kind of touch on it a little bit, is apparently the spirit that lives in this room with the fort and the model, it is a very grumpy ghost, apparently. And it doesn't like people very much, doesn't like people hanging around or visiting, so that's kind of why Megan's SD session was really cool, where at the end, Will You Leave came through. Because the spirit just wants people to leave. It doesn't want people hanging around. And then these items were back in the kids' room. More clothes and like some antique dishes. This is in the hallway. Down through this way here leads to the library. This door leads to the library. There's another door for the library. And then further down this hallway was the master bedroom. Yeah, so this way leads to the master bedroom then. Alright, so these pictures are back downstairs, so let's go ahead and skip forward here a little bit. Let's get more of the upstairs pictures. Right here. And just like the other ones, I'm excited to look through these. I haven't done too much review of these photos, so I'm interested to see if we get anything. I know in the video I said the one picture I took on the red camera had an orb, so we'll look at that when we get there too. But these are some of the books in the library. And the library was really cool. The books weren't like antique or old books or period books. A lot of them were information books. Like we have these scrapbooks here that they made. A lot of books that just talked about the history of the area and things of that nature. Not like books that they had back during that time period, specifically these here. Let me see how well I can zoom in, and you can see kind of what was in the case. Because at one point in the video, you see me open the case to look at them and then close it. And so these are just these kind of just made up binders that talk about the different histories of the area. And then as I pointed out earlier, that's the doorway that leads to the kids' room and the fort room. Those are the stairs that led up this way. Some antique clothes, a really cool looking hat. I don't remember what the tag said. I don't think I can zoom in enough to read it. This is in the library. And as Alex was so excited for, they had a microfishing computer in there, really ornate journal, and some dot frame documents, and some other antiques were all in here. This is in the master bedroom that Megan and I went to go check out, that Megan did not like the feelings of. This was the mirror, And this side of the room was the one particularly acting weird for Megan. The whole room felt weird, was acting weird, and someone kept touching her in there. And particularly around this area, she struggled to get clear pictures over here. And she was just trying to get kind of a cool picture of like me in the mirror itself. But for some reason it wasn't taking, and mirrors do have a lot of spiritual significance and significance to ghosts and all sorts of entities and beings. So it could have been that that mirror specifically was some sort of like, I don't know if protected's the right word or sacred's the right word, but like a revered mirror to a specific spirit or ghost, or if one had become attached to it, or if this one was specifically a portal throughout the house. And then this clock over top of the mantle had a mirror that Megan really didn't have a problem taking a picture of, so she got one that she was hoping to get here. And just like downstairs, a lot of really cool and a lot of really beautiful antiques. They did a great job of furnishing the house and getting all sorts of different artifacts to put in here. Whether it is physical items like this actual clock, or even the clothes on the mannequins. Little blurry picture here. And these are both in front of that mirror. So like I said, this part of the room was a little difficult for Megan to photograph most of the time. This picture specifically, there was a female spirit trying to talk to me, but she wasn't coming through very clearly. And I couldn't really understand her. I couldn't really make out what she was saying. It was just really difficult, and I felt bad because I was trying to listen to her. And there was a similar spirit trying to talk to me downstairs, that kind of same thing. So I'm wondering if it's the lady that was coming through during my SD session. And we'll talk about her in a minute here in another video, because we have some really cool audio of the curator giving us information on the history here, and part of it is talking about this lady, and Megan and Alex made the connections that they believe it is the lady that was coming through during my SD session. Again, super blurry picture from that side of the room. Just really random and just didn't make much sense, since so many of the other pictures turn out okay. And it's not like Megan was moving, I wasn't moving a whole lot. So it's really just kind of weird that some of these pictures just turned out so blurry. This one did not, and this is one of my favorite pictures from the whole day there, was Megan getting her shot of me looking into the mirror. And this is still when the spirit is trying to talk to me, so I wonder if that's why my face is a little flat, I guess, for lack of a better word. You know, in a lot of pictures of me, I like to make sure I'm smiling or making some sort of face or doing something when I'm like cognizant of the picture being taken. This one, very, very flat face. I don't know. Judging by the other pictures, this is probably when she was still trying to talk to me. See, and there we go. Now I'm smiling again. This here, I know I didn't point it out in the video. This is not anything supernatural or all. That's literally the reflection of the light from my camera. And here is where I am asking a ghost to join me in the picture. The reason I did that is because when we were at the bridge in our very first season, Gudgeonville, at the end of our time there, I asked if Gudgeon would want to join us in a picture, and there was an orb in the picture, so I just wanted to kind of do the same thing there and see if anything did come out, which it doesn't appear to be in this one, which is perfectly fine. It's not going to happen every single time, as you've seen across all of our videos. It's not something you can command ghosts to do. You can't force them to pop up as an orb. We can't command them to do it. We can't really make them do anything against their will. And we don't really try to. So if they don't want to pop up in a picture, that's perfectly fine. It doesn't bother me at all. We just move on. But we like to make sure to at least invite them. And then we're back to a blurry picture here. I was trying to take a picture of this side of the room myself. This one got really blurry. Again, not sure why, just that side of the room was just really giving Megan a lot of problems. This was the other side of the room. Got this giant spinning wheel, another wardrobe, some more antique books and clothing artifacts, all sorts of just really cool things. This picture got really blurry too. Something about this room just did not want to be photographed very much. And here you can see just kind of more of a better picture of the antique clothes that were in the room. Over in the corner by the bed where I was, they had this antique rocking chair and cradle here. So just a really cool room, but the vibes were definitely different in here. It was not negative or evil or anything. It was a little uncomfortable for Megan. I felt it was a little neutral, a little uncomfortable, like someone wasn't really happy to have people trudging around their bedroom, which is definitely understandable for an old spirit. More blurry pictures, and like it's just like Megan said during the video itself, it's weird that one will come out blurry when she doesn't move and she just takes the same picture essentially. So it's kind of weird and interesting. Cameras on ghost hunts, they do some funny things. That's a picture of me with this mannequin that scared me multiple times throughout the day. Made peace with it and, became close friends there. I'll point it out in this picture here because I did spend some time looking at it in a picture. This right here is not anything supernatural or any sort of phenomena. This is just kind of like a button on the actual coat here of the mannequin. There we go. And just more pictures of me with the mannequin, since these pictures seem to be taken pretty well. Megan just kept snapping away. But nothing popping up in these pictures either. We'll get back to that one here in a second. But yeah, so that's just this mannequin here. And as you've seen, there are multiple mannequins throughout the entire museum that just show the period clothes and the attires, and they just kind of bring a life to the place. This is me. In the video you saw, Megan asked me to turn around and look through the doorway at her, and she wouldn't take a picture. And we've kind of explained it in our videos, but this here, this is just one of those little balls that like you would touch, and like the electricity would just attract to your finger. The idea is that ghosts can be attracted to it because of the light and the color, some of them, and they can interact with it. So there's two things that can happen. One, you can see all the lightning shoot to one side of the ball, as like if a regular finger touched it. The other thing you'll see in the videos is we put like a light bulb near it, a halogen light bulb. The light bulb lights up being in such close proximity to this, and then when something touches the ball, the light bulb goes off. So even if the ball is only touched for a second and we don't see like the electricity move, at least seeing the light bulb turning off shows that something happened there. That's kind of the idea there. and why we bring that. And there's just another picture of that. Here's a zoomed out one, which I think this is kind of cool because knowing how big this door frame is, I look like an itty bitty person, like kind of like an Oompa Loompa. This is a nice picture of the clothes that were hung up in the children's room. Again, just beautiful antique outfits that they were able to source, which is really cool. Another big spinning wheel here with this tiny little bench that we put one of the lights on that the kids really like to light up. They didn't play with a whole ton of our lights, so it was really cool to at least get one going. This is the little sewing bench here in the kids' room with this little toy here. This is where we set up the REM pod, and this is what I was talking about with the little electricity ball and the light bulb here. So since they're close together, the halogen light bulb can actually light up and stay lit, but once someone or something touches the ball and attracts the electricity away, the light would shut off. So that's kind of the idea that we're looking for, and going back through any footage is to see if that light turns completely off. Because when the ghosts interact with the ball, it can be quick, and we can miss it with the naked eye, but at least the light going out is a bigger symbol. The light going out is a bigger and easier thing to see happen. So that's why we always have the light there. I don't know if I've ever fully explained that before. This is the light Megan was holding, trying to get the spirit to turn on. In a lot of our adventures, if I'm able to, I will interact with the items in the environment around us. The reason being is spirits, they're living entities in the way that they're moving and they experience things and they're seeing things and they're communicating. They don't have physical living bodies, but they're still souls and they're still experiencing life in a way. So I interact with items like this doll here because there are spirits out there that enjoy that, and especially if there's a child in the room, they enjoy having someone interact with them and someone play with them. So that's what I like to do when we go into these places, if it feels okay. If I go to touch something and it feels off, or I instantly feel like a ghost doesn't want me to, or if a ghost tells me no, then I don't do it. But I never do it to be disrespectful. So when you see me like handling the dolls or anywhere else handling things, it's not out of disrespect. I do it to try to help get the ghosts a little more active around us. And then that's all for the pictures on Megan's camera. So let me switch over to our red camera here. Okay, and here we are with the pictures on the red camera now. So this is just me taking a selfie in the master bedroom here. Okay, so I think I found the picture I was talking about in the video here. So I took a picture of Megan, and right here is this little little orb guy right here. Is what we'll do is we'll check one of the other pictures to make sure there's not like a shiny necklace or anything right there that would have caused that glare. I don't remember, I wasn't looking specifically there while we were looking through the other pictures, so we'll take a look. But right there is what I was talking about in the video when I said I was reviewing a picture. Let's see, I think I followed it up here actually pretty immediately. Alright, cool. So we might not have to go back to the other folder. Okay, so good news, I actually did some follow-up photos here just to test it out, and I don't see anything here that would cause that. To be safe, let's see if Megan got that part of the dress, though. Oh, this is did. Let's zoom in. And no, there's not a necklace or anything shiny here that would cause that, and there's no part of the fabric that really looks like that orb. So it looks like at the time when I said I got recut. So it looks like at the time when I said I thought I had a picture of an orb, looks like I was pretty correct. It looks like we did catch an orb right there on the dress. So that's pretty cool. Definitely let me know your thoughts on that. I don't think I see any others in the picture. If it was from her camera, I feel like there would be more scattered around and not just this one hot blue orb there. So that's really cool. Yeah, I don't see it in these pictures at all anywhere on the dress. So very cool. So we did catch an orb on the one camera. And these are just more pictures of some of the items that are in the master bedroom. Over here, we had our own music box set up on this phone here. So that's what the ghost kept playing with while we were in there too. I didn't point it out too much in the video because since we were walking around a lot, I wasn't able to see if every time it went off was due to EMF or if it was due to movement. Every time that one of us looked at it, it was going off because of EMF. More pictures of that beautiful woman. Don't tell her that picture is in here. Alright, so we got a little sideways selfie here with the mannequin, and right here again, this is like a button or something that was on the mannequin. I made sure to check after taking these pictures. And this is back in the children's room here. This is right on that wall alongside the door there. That's where we set up the music box app in here. There's Megan trying to coax the spirit to stop playing with that light on the bench and to come play with the one in her hand. It was not really listening. It preferred the one that I already had. Here's a better picture of the dolls that are on the bed. Didn't really get the impression that any of them specifically were haunted or spirited like we have Paul. What's over here? Interesting. So the first few times I went through I didn't really take a look at this. I assumed it was just a dead pixel or something, but it looks like it had a little coloration to it, especially against the black dress here. So that's really interesting. That could be something. It's so small and out of focus isn't the right word I want to use, but it's so small and out of the way there. I'm not 100% sure, but there's more of them here. Just kind of scattered around here too. So those definitely could be some sort of a phenomenon or small part of an orb, or those could just be from the picture itself. That's hard to say, a little inconclusive there. Just another shot of the dress and like the little tea set that was in here. The clothes in that baby scale. Here I was reading from one of the storybooks that was left in the room there as a decoration, trying to see if that would drum up any activity too. I think I used the dowsing rods to go lead me over there. So this is that sewing table with our little ball here. Of course, this is our cool looking professor. Just more pictures inside the kids' room here. I try to take pictures randomly and all over the place because I never know when an orb's going to pop up. So I just try to snap away and see what I can get. This is inside the fort room, so that's the whole fort model case there. So in the video, we talk about how the reflection was acting weird, and it's whatever this reflection is back here, probably coming off this case or something. But the reason Alex and Megan thought it was so weird was because it was always showing up behind me. Yeah, it was always showing up behind me. It was never like in front of me. Like they thought like the reflection should be showing across the front of me, but it wasn't. So that's what they were talking about at that part in the video. Nothing major. Nothing crazy or supernatural or anything like that, but just kind of wanted to point out what they were talking about. I was coming up to check out this guy. Again, I thought it was kind of like a dead pixel, like the on the dress, but it's definitely not anything like that. And it's kind of got another coloration around here, so I wonder if this is another orb that we captured here. Again, like the ones on the dress, a little inconclusive, especially on the white ceiling there. It's a little difficult to see, but I can see it outstretching a little bit and the coloring changing. So that definitely could be something there as well. Here's Alex and I coming in. And setting up, we brought that little electricity ball back in here. I don't think anyone even touched it the whole time we were there, but especially in this room. The ghost was not in favor of interacting with much of anything, let alone us. So I zoomed in here because of this right in the middle. And first, my eyes were kind of drawn all over to these, which those could definitely be something. Over here, the pattern of these caught my eye too, that it's almost like a circle. So interesting there, but this guy in the middle is kind of what I'm looking at now here. So it definitely looks like we got an orb there for sure, kind of hanging out in the middle of the room near the fort case. Those other ones definitely could be orbs too. I really like the shades of these ones down here. Especially that guy there. But, so those could be something too in these ones here. Was there anything else over here sticking out that looked like this orb? Because these ones are easier for me to be able to see and tell with a certainty. Because we've seen these before where they've kind of, lack of a better term, turned into orbs. There's one down here, kind of looks like it has the shape to it of the orb as well. So it looks like we may have caught a couple on this one, but at least one for sure right there in the middle. There's me counting out my money and offering it up to the ghost. So here's kind of what they were talking about with the reflection always appearing behind me and what Alex and Megan were trying to figure out. In their mind, if it was coming from this glass or coming from something else, it should have been appearing in front of me, but it never was. I wanted to zoom in right here and look at this guy. Another one like the other ones we saw in the dress. So that could be something as well, especially since there's only one here. It's a little odd to me that there's only one while the other ones had so many. So that could definitely be something, especially since we had an orb in that last picture. Nothing here. These were just pictures of pictures of me that Megan was taking to try to figure out that reflection. And then this is us kind of walking around trying to see what exactly was being reflected off of. Again, we didn't think this reflection was anything paranormal or suspicious, but like we were just curious to see what was actually being reflected off of and why it was always behind whoever was standing there. Whoa, all right. Don't know what happened with that picture. And this is just more inside of the fort room here. There I am, still offering up all of my monies to the ghost to do something. Interact with us in some way. And kind of like the master bedroom, this room didn't feel negative per se, but it definitely felt a little unwelcoming. Like something didn't want us in here for very long and was trying to kick us out, which makes sense with what Megan got through the spirit box and also just what the curator told us with the history of there being a grumpy ghost in this room specifically. Play with the money so much here because I'm really setting the intention to try to get something to interact with us over the money or for the money. I figured if any ghost would be, an old grumpy ghost hanging out upstairs in the fort room would definitely be the ghost to do it. This is just the writing desk that had the little trinkets and little maps and letters kind of sprawled across it there. There's Megan on the other side of the glass over there. Alex looking serious, trying to figure something out. More selfie times. And as I go through, I'm not really seeing anything sticking out in these pictures here. As I go through, if you see something, definitely comment below letting us know what you think. So overall, just a really cool place to explore the Judson House and Museum, both downstairs and upstairs. A lot of really cool artifacts and antiques, really cool layout, really cool vibes from the whole place. So we're very lucky that we were able to do this. These pictures are of Megan when she was in her estes session. This is the first one she's done. And this one, nothing uber exciting happened, but I was happy to see Megan volunteered to do one and at least get the little interaction that she did. So the reason I zoomed in here, I see something else worth zooming in. So was this guy here. This little, looks almost like a flame. Bursting out the floor then. I don't recall anything metallic or reflective there. So that's a really cool little flashing phenomena there. But then when I zoomed in, I noticed this orb. So that's really cool that Megan has an orb hanging out behind her and kind of to her left a little bit. I think we were telling the spirits to try to touch her on the left side, so it's really cool that an orb popped up in this picture on that side of her. So that's really cool with that orb, and then that little guy down there. I was just going back through to see if there was anything else like reflecting from down here or anything here that would cause the orb, but I don't see anything in any other pictures here. So that's really cool. So in this picture with Megan, we got this orb and then whatever this flash is coming off the ground. And then in here, whatever that was is gone, and then this orb too is gone. There's this little guy, but again, can't really comment on what's going on there. And perfect. So the reason I like getting similar pictures is because, like I just said, no flash down here, so whatever it was wasn't reflecting off something, and that orb here is also gone. There's nothing there that would have caused it. I know Megan didn't necessarily like her first Estes session. It is a little jarring when you first do it, especially if you've never experienced that before or anything like that before. But I was really happy to see her jump in and give it a shot and at least get something. And I think having this experience here really helped her want to do it again when we got to the Eagle Hotel, which she might have had the coolest SD session of all of us. But that does it for the pictures from the Judson House in the museum. If I can get the audio to carry over, we'll do a special part playing the audio from the different audio recorders we had here. At the very least, the audio from the curator telling us about the history and some of the most important things that happened. So those were the picture reviews. Now upcoming is the audio. Since it's just audio off an audio recorder, it sounds a little weird sometimes, and I ran it through an AI-generated program called Descript to come up with a transcription for it. So there's going to be subtitles for it. However, it's not perfect because it's AI, and I fixed what I could. The program's not perfect, so I apologize for anything that's not perfect or anything that's not transcribed in it, but it's pretty clear you can hear it. And then since it's just a voice recorder, I just threw up a whole bunch of Megan's pictures that she took, kind of like a little slideshow, so there's something to look at while you listen. Well, let's go ahead and get to that.
Reader Moore, we'll talk about him. He was a jerk. He was terrible, this guy. He raped and beat this woman and left her for dead out in the woods. And then he wanted to marry this other lady. And he's telling her, I'll shoot myself and kill me. So when you're on High Street, he shoots himself and kills himself. But as he lay dying, he confessed to this terrible crime that he committed. He was that girl that he had left for dead out in the woods. He set up some other guy and accused him of doing it, and even testified in court that this guy did it. That entire story? Yeah. You told us today. Read it more? When you were in the closet, you told us that entire story. Holy shit. Three people arguing. Yeah, three people arguing. Wait. Okay. And then the man came and said, in the woods. Yeah. Wow. What else did you say? What else did you say? This is cool. What else? He did the Estes method in the closet where he had a blindfold on and I was told to go in the closet. Yeah, you were told. Okay. So he went into the closet. The little one over there, he didn't have much room to go. Mm-hmm. So he has headphones on and a blindfold on and like a radio frequency where they come through and say words. So he was just saying words he heard. So rape came up. I think the word came up. I did it. And they just kept he kept saying there's three of them arguing. It was two men and a woman. And he said you keep hearing one man was like screaming loudly. The other woman would be screaming. Yeah, I can't remember the words they said, but the words rape, woods, and the man and the girl going back and forth at each other. But yeah, he set him up. The guy, they put a camera rolling on me the whole time, so yeah, I forgot the whole thing. I'll have to hand it to you. The guy was a little slow. This not reader. The other guy was like a little slow. So the girl who was raped, she says all she remembers that the guy was wearing a mask and he had a red coat on. So Reader gave that other guy the red coat and set him up. He went to the police. I know who raped her and left her for dead. It was, I forget his name. What was his name? She kept saying red, dead, and redemption. Oh my God. So as he lay dying, he called for reporters. I need a reporter here right now because I need to confess this. After he confessed it, he died, so he doesn't know if he got that guy out of prison or not. He was in the prison for 20 years. That chills. That is crazy. And not too many people really know the story. I've only told it a few times. Yeah. It's a long story, so I don't want to go through this right now, but I can't believe you did that. I we were wondering what was going on. Because I remember when it came to rape, I was like, whoa. Yeah. Yeah, you were like, whoa. They just said rape, and then I was like, it was great. Yeah, it was a very... wow. Yeah, oh yeah. This is a real piece of work, Get out, leave. Yeah. Wow. The countdown. Yeah. That was interesting. I was like, it literally kept living for revenge. Okay, the guy that he had set up. He lived now for revenge. Upon his knees he swore by the eternal God that each of the wretches who had sworn away his liberty should be made to suffer and as he was suffering. Year for year, tear for tear, groan for groan. By the force of his newly acquired intelligence, he reasoned out a theory which plainly indicated the guilty party and laid bare the cunning plots of the conspirators. Because he did not do this. But this friend of his set him up. He testified in court on, yeah, he did it. But as he lay dying, though, he confessed to us. We were kind of wondering, maybe his restless spirit is wondering if, did that guy really get out of prison or not? Because three of them are here, still arguing about it. That's crazy.
That's the story of Reader Moore. I'm going to go ahead and put in some highlights from my SD session. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, go watch it to see the full SD session in the closet. But at least here you can see the highlights. And let me know what you think. I'm not real sure, but a female voice said, I think, good. I think a man just said women. I think I just heard red. A man said something. Whoa. That was weird. A male spirit just said great, grape, or rape. Man just said really? Someone's touching me now. Sounds like two men are like arguing. I don't know, I might just be picking up parts of a conversation.
There is nobody around. It is like dead quiet.
Ah, God, someone just screamed in my ears. One man said impact, I think, and another one just said no. Maybe intact? One man said, did you? And then I couldn't hear the rest, and then the other guy said, I did. I'm being touched again.
Closet to Andrew?
One man saying, would you?
Would you what?
Right arm is being caressed. A man just said, I don't know. Other man just said, I wouldn't if I were you. Woman just said tack or attack. Man just said leave.
Okay. So you guys want Andrew to leave the closet?
The other man said stay. Woman just said holy. Woman then said saint. The man said definitely not.
You want to tell Andrew to go to the kitchen?
Someone's touching my head. Man just said look up. I got a blindfold on though. Ooh, someone's touching the back of my head. Woman said now. Man is like stuttering. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
What is the name?
Man said by the woods. The other man said fire? Maybe dire? I think fire.
What is the name of the men in the closet?
Man said dead. Woman said for what? The other man said go in the house. Man said mad. Someone's touching my right leg. Like squeezing it. One of the mans just said, cop up. I think one of the men just said, go you?
Do you want Megan to leave?
Man just said yes.
You want
The other man said, in the house. The woman said some sort of sound real quick, like toot toot or beep beep, eek eek, something like that. Man said go. Man said go again. They're saying something, but I can't focus on them. People are moving around me. I can feel 3 people just kind of like walking around me. I can feel someone touching my back, upper back. So one man just said, don't lose focus, don't lose focus. Touching my hand again. Lady just said, that person. So, the man, one of the men said, the one in black, and then the woman said orange. The man and woman, one of the men and the woman just said, both said witness. So there we have it. The audio from Heidi, plus my highlights from my incredible SD session. We definitely think I was hearing from Reader Moore, the other man, and the woman. But I'm interested to hear what you all think. So comment down below, comment on Facebook, comment anywhere at all, send messages. Let me know if you think that what I was hearing was Reader Moore, the other man, and the woman arguing, talking, discussing, whatever it was, or if you think it was something completely different. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and make sure to come back next time, because next time we're going to the Eagle Hotel.